Hey everybody, you're watching Sidestep Adventures, and today we're in the sleepy little town of Louvale, Georgia, on this row of historic churches. It's a historic church row comprised of 4 churches, the earliest one being built in 1850, and we're going to take a look at them. This place is actually on the National Register for Historic Places.
I think one is a school.
One is a school, apparently, but it's called Church Row. So we're going to take a look in just a minute. Look at the size of that oak tree.
That thing is massive. That's well over 150 years old. It's got to be easy.
Something metal in the tree.
It's a pulley somebody nailed into it.
That is an old tree. It's lost its main section right there.
Yeah. I mean, look at it compared to a person. How big it is. Like, and I'm a pretty big fella.
That's a big tree.
I'm wider than a bus, just about. So that'll tell you how big that sucker is.
Okay, the Antioch Primitive Baptist Church was originally founded in 1832 in Pleasant Valley. I don't know where that is. And it was moved to Louvale in 1851. The present church was erected in 1885, however, to replace the log structure that it originally was. I do not know what happened to the log structure.
This is an absolutely beautiful old church. One thing that I like about old churches is a lot of churches out in the communities and countryside are left open for private worship, private prayers. The church in my hometown was always left open. Piano appears to have seen better days. It's got a stuck key, but 2 stuck keys, and I won't touch that anymore. But it's an old piano too. No, not sure how old. An old organ, I should say. But that's pretty cool. This is an amazing church. It's in really great condition. If you watch one of my other videos, a church that was built in let's say the 1830s, and the title of the church is maybe it was built in 1850 and it's now forgotten. I'll leave a link in the comments. And that church was very similar to this church in design, except that church has been completely forgotten, while this church remains in relatively good shape. And notice that it has no electric lighting in here. All the lighting is provided by these hurricane lamps, oil lamps, or the candles on the walls. This is truly a beautiful church, and I'm really glad I got to walk inside of it. I'm thankful to see that there's no vandalism in here. I'm not sure if this is an active church or not anymore. The sign seems to indicate that it is. I'm going to go ahead and keep the doors locked. Not that that lock does anything at all to keep people out. And you can see the architecture on this church. I like that sort of stuff. So looking to see, this appears to have been constructed with square nails, which of course places the date it was built before the 1880s. That's when round nails became common. An absolutely beautiful church, and it's wonderful to see it in good standing, good condition. Just noticing the windows here, something I've talked about in some other videos. You can see, and I don't know if you'll be able to tell it all on camera, but that the glass is kind of wavy. And it has to do with the production of the glass back in the 1800s. So it's cool, you can tell that those are the original windows. I can see it from back here. Let me get the camera closer. Maybe you'll be able to see the waviness of the glass. You see the bottom foundation of the church was originally large field stones. Now it has bricks set atop them. Not sure if that was a later addition or if that's how it was built. And I think Brian said that it was rebuilt in the 1850s. I'll have to watch the video myself to remember what the date was. We've got some 1800s propane tank here. And unfortunately, we've got some broken glass down here. So I guess at some point someone decided to bust out a window. You can see this is new glass because it has no waves in it. It's just new flat glass. And up there you can see the older glass. Again, I don't know if you'll be able to tell that on video or not. Another thing I always like to do is take a look under the buildings at the construction of the structure. You can see that's pretty cool under here. We're not gonna stay under here too long because there's a nest of angry looking wasps over there. You can see the timbers the church was constructed on with. Rough hewn timber down the center over there. And on the sides and right behind me. You can see square nails sticking out right there too. Another reason I like to look under old buildings is because back then it's how people threw away their trash. And we're gonna make our exit here. Let me switch hands with my camera and get this just a little bit close over there. You can see all the very unhappy wasps. Now I'm gonna exit very, very slowly without making eye contact. Anyway, that's how people discarded their trash back then. And so you can see old bottles and stuff under churches, under any kind of old building that's raised, as people just threw the trash under there. Man, this is just a beautiful area out here. It's my first time coming out here. I've been wanting to come out here for a while. Hear the quiet sounds of the birds and the sound of David's drone. Let's take a look at the back side of this church. This is just as pretty from the back as it is the front. Now this over here looks like an old well. I do believe that is what it is. It's got a crown around it and crown of vines around it and lots of little things on top. I'd like to see if it's still open or not, but I don't really want to disturb all of that stuff. See if we can. Yeah, can't really get that up. It's probably been sealed with that wood. They probably wouldn't want me lifting it up anyway. So this, I believe, was an old schoolhouse. I could be mistaken on that, but I don't think so. That's what it looks like. I think it was used as a church and a school. And today it looks like it's, yeah, this old schoolhouse. You can see the chalkboard on the wall over there. That's pretty cool. Looks like it's used as some kind of dining area now. Make my way back down these steps without breaking my neck. This is a nice building as well, although it's not as pretty as the church is over there. See this on a lot of old courthouses and other buildings, other old buildings, the benches on the front. There are plenty of old southern courthouses and what's the word, stores that have that on the front. This building's probably locked. Yeah, it is. So we're not going to be able to go in there, but we can look through the window again over here. I cover it up and look in and see the old schoolroom. So we'll move on from here and go over to this other church. This is also a pretty church. It's interesting the difference in the designs between the two. I like the tree. Looks like a live oak tree out front, providing shade for the congregation. Alright, so this is, try to read the top name there. Is that the M.A.R. Marvin Methodist Church? So these are the Methodists over here. I wonder if the Baptist and the Methodist ever got into any fights. This is such a pretty area. I have a feeling this church is going to be locked, so we're not going to be able to see the inside of it except through the windows. No, it's not. So this church appears to be currently used. It's got a microphone up there, and it's also very modernized. I guess that's the difference between the old stove and heater. I guess that's the difference between the Methodist and the Primitive Baptist. This one has modern lights, electricity, a microphone so everybody can hear. And lots of heaters. So the South Georgia Annual Conference of the United Methodist Church recognizes Marvin United Methodist Church for being fully connectional in the year 2014. Your old piano. My shoes are squeaking on this floor. Look at this big book up here. I wonder what that is. It's a Bible. Looks very old. Looks so old I probably shouldn't touch it. 1965. I'm not going to mess with that. Doesn't look like it's in the best shape. You've got the, I guess for deacons to sit over there. This church is not as, while I appreciate it in that it's an old church in good shape and still being used, this one is not as interesting to me as the, I think it was Primitive Baptist over there, as it's been so thoroughly modernized and everything. The other one's more like a time capsule to how the church was. Take a look at this, what do you call these? I forget what you should call them. So this was June 10th, 2018. So the church is still being used relatively recently. Oh, there's a fish fry too. All right, so we'll leave this church in peace. And I still like the architecture of the church, you know, the little details like this. And the old wood. Still a very nice building. And it's still very good to see a church like this still being used. But my favorite is still the oldest. Make sure the doors are closed. Those doors won't hold back much. All right, now on our final church on the historic church row, we've got this one over here, small modest church. Now this one has been definitely modernized. You can see it looks like it's got asbestos siding on it. So that was probably done in the 1950s. Although I'm sure the building was older than that. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that these churches are all early 1900s except for the first one that we saw. So here's a Baptist church here, New Hope Baptist Church. And as I already said, this church looks like it's been modernized. Do an outside walk around, then we'll see if it's unlocked. Notice the difference in the foundation. The First Baptist Church, the Primitive Baptist Church we saw was fieldstone and brick, and this one is just brick. And the Methodist Church, well, they've used some concrete around there, so the underside isn't open anymore. Just take a quick peek under here. There's a broken bottle over there. We might go take a look and see what kind of bottle it is. Of course, we've got the cemetery out back here. Let's look at the dates on some of these graves in just a minute. I see a lot of them look newer. There's the back of the church. There's a grave from 19... Oh, that's newer. That's where is it? No, 1936. So I'm not sure if this is the cemetery for the Methodist church or the Baptist church over here. The 1930s graves. Look at all the antlion nest. Saw a broken bottle under here, I thought. I was gonna take a look at, but I've lost sight of it, and so I reckon I won't go under there and look at it. Of course, we've got the Methodist church over there, and the guys discussing something. Something smells dead out here. This church is locked. The Baptists don't want us to see what's going on inside. I just can't even see through the windows. But we can see this little spider in there. No, he just ran out of camera view. Isn't this just a gorgeous row of churches? And the schoolhouse. I think so. You can see, as I was mentioning a minute ago, I don't think I noted it when I actually came over here, the foundation has been cinder blocked in. Louvale Church Row, originally Antioch, the town developing at the terminus of the Savannah, Americus, and Montgomery, the Little Sam Railroad, was renamed Louvale in 1886. Antioch Primitive Baptist Church, founded in 1832 in Pleasant Valley, moved to Moccasin Gap in 1842 and here 1851. Present church was erected circa 1885 to replace the original log structure. Marvin Methodist Church, founded 1830 in Green Hill, moved here in 1900 when present building was erected. New Hope Baptist Church, constituted 1860, 2 miles from here, moved to present building in 1901. All right, well, I hope you've enjoyed seeing these churches and this area. It's very peaceful here, very quiet little place, and beautiful buildings. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next adventure.